Carol here again with another fun Halloween pop-up panel card. In my last video I did this card. I have made some changes to the card. In my video I had the fence as a band, but the little pointy things kept getting caught in when I would take it on and off, so I made this a fence and made a new band for it. And the Just For You comes from, I think it's the Bella and Friends stamp set. So today we're going to make another pop-up panel card, but we're going to make this one. And what's really nice about this one is when you take the band off, it becomes a jack-o'-lantern, and when you put the band back on, it looks like just a regular pumpkin. Now this card, we're going to be recreating it today, but I used the Jar of Haunts stamp set to do this one, and of course I did the jars. And I used the medium jar frame from the Everyday Jars framelit dies. Now this goes with the Jar of Haunts and two other sets. The Jar of Cheer, and then there's one more that's, I think it's called Jar of Love. So this comes as a bundle, and then you can purchase this one separately. So if you like the Jar of Cheer, you can get, actually no, it doesn't come as a bundle. It comes as a bundle with the Jar of Love stamp set, and these come separately in the holiday catalog. Now this stamp set is really versatile, and I used the jar, and then the other little pieces that come with it. There's eyeballs. I used the eyeballs there, the goo, drippy goo, and the crazy eyes here, the candy corn there, and then the mummy here. And then this is the pumpkin for the band. And then also with that you get the jack-o'-lantern face. And I'm going to put this behind that so you can actually see better. Looks like the only one I haven't used is a spooky treat for you to eat. And I'm sure I'm going to use that one before the season's over. Now, the only thing that you probably, I don't really need to have you watch me stamp all those jars, but I used a smoky slate Stampin' Right marker on that. I used pumpkin pie and daffodil delight on the candy corn. I used wild wasabi on the goo, and the pear pizzazz on the eyes. And then to make the bloodshot eyes I used Cajun Craze, which I don't know why I don't have Cajun Craze out, but I used it. And then Old Olive for the iris part of the eyeballs, and then smoky Sahara Sand for the eyeballs themselves, which it makes it look kind of gray. So really the only thing you probably might need to see is how I did the mummy, and that's really kind of easy. I'm going to need my piercing mat and a piece of Whisper White paper. I already have my mummy on the block, and it's on the D block. Then I'm going to get my basic black ink and just ink that up really, really good, and get some on my thumb like I always do. And then I'm just going to get it on there really good. Now, I like to use my Stampin' Majig just in case I don't get a really good image the first time. But these jars are pretty good. They usually give a good impression the first stamp. And then of course if you do like that, you have to do it again. It just stuck to the cardstock so well that when I pulled it up, it didn't want to let go. Okay, this should work better. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to let that dry a little bit, and the archival ink takes a little bit longer to dry. If you're real impatient, you can use the low setting on your heat tool, and I'm doing that just to speed things up. That's so that when I take my Stampin' Write marker, my smoky slate, I'm going to use the brush tip, it's not going to run. So all I'm really doing is just making a strip underneath the line. And I'm not really being all that particular about it. After all, it's a mummy. How exact does a mummy have to be, right? So put some there along the edge, and that's really about all you have to do. And then you'll cut it out using your jar framelit. So I'm going to go ahead and start back with this one, which I'm not going to show you how to do this part because that's in my other video, and it was like 36 minutes long, so I know you don't want to watch another 36-minute video. So this part is the same as the video that I have prior to this, and I think it's called Stampin' Up! Spooky Fun Twist and Pop-Up Fun Halloween panel card or something like that. You can find it on my channel. Okay, so basically after we did this, I adhered them to the 2.5-inch scalloped square panel. And so I used the 2.5-inch square with smoky slate for the background on this panel, and then I used the 2 3/4 for the smoky slate scalloped background for the sentiment, and that's from the Layering Square Framelits. Now the one thing that I did want to show you again was the putting on or adding to this part to this part, because in my other video I put adhesive on both ends, and I should have only done it one end at a time. So I'm going to show you how to do it the right way in this video. So in your left hand corner you're going to put about 1 inch square of fast fuse. Now if you don't have fast fuse, you could try using the tear and tape and putting about 3 little strips there so that it stays. Okay, so once we get our inch of fast fuse there, we're going to take it so that it's a W, and we're going to fold it up like this, and then we're going to turn it. I got some fast fuse on my finger here. Okay, so then we're going to turn it, and like this is the right side, and right side, this is the left side, so we're going to turn it like this and put it at the bottom of our card. Now we're going to put about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of the card in the center from on both sides. And then once we get it where we think we want it, we're just going to take this and just close it. And that is going to attach this. And it almost wants to open up, but it isn't attached to this side yet. So we have to attach it to that side. So what we're going to do is fold it up, and it has to kind of flip this way so that this is on top. So the one that's glued is on the bottom. The one that you're going to glue is on the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our fast fuse on that corner. And I think I need to fix this. It's sticking. Okay, so this is going to go this way, like that. And then as kind of hold that in place till it gets flat against the back, and then push it down. And once you have that, you're going to see that it's going to open. That's just so fun. I just love doing that. Okay, so now we need to do the front. And for the front, we need panels. And let me see if I can find my card. The pumpkin pie panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use my regular snail to put that one in place. Now I don't want to put anything up too close to the edge, and the reason is because I'm going to have to tuck, and I'll show you, I'm going to have to tuck the washi tape underneath so it gets a nice clean look. Okay, so let me put this in place, and that looks about right. And then our DSP panel is 3 3/4 by 5. Now this one, it doesn't matter if I get close to the edge because it's not, I'm not tucking anything underneath it. Okay, so now we have this. And I was also recording how I did the spiders, so I will have to show you how I did the spiders again. So you take your piece of Whisper White and a ruler, and you're going to do about 1/2 inch from the edge. With your pencil, you're going to mark a line 1/2 inch. And then every 3/4 of an inch, you're going to mark and once you've marked your paper, you're going to use your Stampin' jig, and you're going to, the right angle here is going to match up with the right angle here. So this part is along that line. And then you're going to take your spider from the jar of haunts, and I put him kind of on the corner to make it easier to control. And you're just going to stamp down. And then you're going to move over to the next corner and you're going to stamp down. And you're just going to continue that all the way across. Okay, so now we want about a 1/2 inch strip. So we're going to center our spiders kind of in the middle of the 1/4 inch line so that we get a 1/2 inch all together. I'm going to move him up there. Okay, so once we have our strip, we're also going to need a 5/8 inch strip of smoky slate. Then we're going to attach with some snail adhesive. And then what you want to do is center it. I think I have another card. This card I haven't added my spiders to yet. So what you want to do is you want to center them along the pumpkin pie. Kind of mark where you want to cut it with the pencil. And then once you have it cut, you want to adhere it to your card. Okay, so now we are ready to do the pumpkin on this other one right here. Now we are going to stamp our pumpkins. We're going to get our pumpkins from our jar of haunts, and we're done with okay. Now I'm just using scrap pumpkin pie from when I cut off the sides here. That's all I'm using, is just the scrap from the pumpkin pie. Now I need to stamp 2 of these. Find my ink. Here it is. Okay, so I stamp them a jig ready. Okay, that one came out really good. And then this one. Okay, now we're going to stamp the face, the jack-o'-lantern face, on one of these. Okay, and then while we have our ink out, we need to stamp the leaf twice. We need to stamp it once on Old Olive, on a piece of old olive. And then we need to stamp it once on a piece of early espresso. All right. Now just need to cut these out. Now since this pumpkin is going to be in the front, when I cut around it, I'm going to leave just the smallest amount of cardstock around the edge. But when I cut this pumpkin, I'm going to cut right up to the line, so that way it will hide it when I cover it up. Alright, we're back and we have all our little images cut out and we're ready to put them on the front of our card. And I like to start with the jack-o'-lantern. I'm going to use my snail adhesive for him. And I'm just going to put him kind of where this one ends, just a little bit below, maybe like 1/8 of an inch below, and in the center. And then we're going to add the stem, and when I cut the stem I left a little bit out so that I could tuck it underneath there. It looks like it's a little long, so I'm going to need to cut some of that off. Alright, so I'm going to put my little stem there, and then my leaf will go there. And I think I'm going to best to put that on with some the Tombow Multi liquid glue, and just let me get it started over here, because sometimes it just wants to come out. And I find that if you just dot it, you don't even squeeze the bottle, it'll come out in little dots, and you don't have the mess that you get. Alright, so here's the, got some glue on my finger. Here's the stem. I'm going to stick it underneath there. And then I have my leaf. And I'm going to put it kind of there. And then now we're ready to do the band. Now the black strip is 5/8 inch wide by 11 inches long. And we're just going to kind of fit it at first. Center it across your jack-o'-lantern and fold it back, but not tight, because you want to leave it loose enough that it will slide up and down your card when it's removed. And I'm just going to take some glue dots and attach it with glue dots. Normally I use my fingers, but I just put lotion on my fingers, and I know the glue dot won't stick to my fingers if they have lotion on it. So again, I'm not going to make it too tight. I don't want it too loose and I don't want it too tight. And that's going to, hold on. Alright, make sure I get it just right. Okay, I think that's going to work. Okay, now once I have that, I can put my pumpkin over the top of the jack-o'-lantern. And I think I'll just put some snail over here, and then add my pumpkin over the jack-o'-lantern. And then that way, oops, you know what I forgot? Forgot to put the band on. So I'm just gonna lift this up as I put the snail on. This is great for lifting things up once you have okay, so I'm going to put snail on this. This is this is from Designer Series paper from the Halloween night. It's 3 1/8 inches wide and 6 inches long. And to be honest, I should have put this on before I attach the band, but that's okay. Alright, so now we'll do this again, only this time we'll put the adhesive on the top of the DSP and cover it up. Okay, so now it's ready to slide up and down. Now you don't have to, but in the back I wanted to cover up this part so that it was kind of all the way around, so I just kind of cut it to fit. It overlaps just a little bit, but not an awful lot. Okay, so let me put some snail on this, and we're almost done with our card. Line it up good, as well as I can. Alright, and now our card is finished. Isn't that adorable? I just love the little pop-up panel cards. So this is our finished product, and I hope you enjoyed making this with me. I'm sorry that the video was so long. Check out my other video I'm going to be making that shows how to make an easel to display your card. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day. Bye now.